In this video we're going futuristic, back to some old stuff, but Monique sent me the link to this video. It took me a little bit of time to get into it because it's a love story, but I've played this little video I've made. But basically when they go to work, their worlds almost touch each other from that picture, and then that's where he can see. That's where he goes to work, in that building, and he's wherever it is. Anyway, he's fallen in love with this girl who lives on the other side, and the other side from him is the rich side. It's rich over there, not rich where he is. Anyway, they're not allowed to go to the other side, but he falls in love with this girl. She's on the other side, she'll be upside down. It took me. I quite like the adjustment bureau, but anyway, she's come over one time here and she's upside down, but he's got to find somewhere where he can kiss her and talk to her because she's upside down. But this is what his world is like, and then that's what his boss's world's like. It's a film. It is a bit crazy. It takes a bit of while to get into, but at the end of it, anyway, that's where he's working, and that's what it looks like. They talk to each other. But that's his world. It's not rich like the world on the other side. The other side, it's rich. They're not allowed to mingle. But what it was is he used to go up the top of this mountain. And that girl, when she was little, she used to go to the top of her mountain. And they could almost touch hands, and then they talk to each other there. But she kind of forgot her memory and all that, and doesn't really remember him. And he's got to try and keep visiting her and trying to remind her, because he wasn't going to give up on this love he felt he had for her. This is what he does. And he packs himself with this stuff, and he goes over there, and he burns him sometimes, etc. But it's a movie, isn't it? And they nearly get caught, and they fly around everywhere. And anyway, it's a good film. But anyway, on to the next one. I'm not sure if this is a real picture, because when I zoom in, this doesn't look right, and this doesn't look right, and that's a big house, but it's quite away from this house, and it doesn't look so real up there. It looks like that's been painted in, and then that looks like a picture, and I don't know, I'm not sure about that. But there is a light down there, like someone's living, but this doesn't look right now, so I can't tell. And there's this great big wall, and then why would they be living there? And then why is their house, what is that? The mud came in and swallowed the house up, but this bit's okay, and it didn't crush the rest of the house. Oh, and then we built the same sort of house, maybe a little bit further on, but we built that on top of it. Anyway, I looked at that, but on to the next bit, because I thought this was quite interesting, this bit of video. Anyway, let's move on.
These are, every person's skin has a color on the color wheel. And all you have to do is go find the color wheel, and then find your color on the color wheel. These are all members of the human race. All members of the same race. A color wheel of humanity. And this is what it looks like when it's hanging on the wall.
That looks very familiar, indeed.
Of course, yeah, well done. Now, you'll notice that there's a Russia and a Russia. There's a China and another China. There's an India and another India. They have to do it that way in order to have the United States in the middle of the map.
Right.
In order to use this map at all, you have to take this piece off here, and put it over here. And now you see, the United States is no longer in the middle of the map. South America is actually 9 times larger than Greenland.
We did this look into the maps before, when I noticed that that is the size of Greenland. There it is. That is Greenland, just there, Greenland. And it sits in front of one of these rivers, the 4 rivers. And yeah, see the size of it. And then this is the UK here, just the edge of UK. And there's Iceland. See? It's only 3 times the size of Iceland. It's just a bit bigger than the UK. Well, it's a bit bigger than the UK. And what they've done is they've included this. This is what I reckon. They've included all that to make that the whole of Greenland. So that would mean the North Pole sits in the middle of there. Do you see what I mean? I made a video on it. So, I was looking at maps. This is from the other video. Again, lots of maps showing Greenland is a separate place to here. It's not covered in ice either, is it? Crazy that, or what? Anyway, we're trying to whiz it onto the bit. So basically, that's what they show us is Greenland. Oh, that's what they show us is Greenland. It's as big as Canada and America put together on that map, but you've just seen a different one. So there you go, Greenland. There you go. We're down here. Greenland, separate to this piece. And then let's go up to this bit. What I did was, if you look at Greenland and this, they're not dissimilar in shape and size, are they? Like, if Greenland is only this bit down here, then they've covered this all over. They've made the 4 rivers. They've made the 4 rivers. So North Pole sits in here. That's what they've done. It's nice of them, isn't it? Something like that. Because it fits, doesn't it? There you go. It fits. This fits. All that and that put together. That is this. That's what I think they've done. So it's even more complicated than the person speaking about the maps, because that is all Greenland. They've included all that. But, you know, on some maps, when they want to draw the 4 rivers, there it is. Look, it's enormous, and Greenland's in here. This little tiny place in front of the river. I mean, yeah, one of the rivers. And then the UK's down here, so Greenland's up there. Doesn't even look the size of the UK on there. Look at the size of the 4 rivers. So look how big Greenland could be. How do we know? Again, I think that's Greenland. So that would be Iceland, and there's the UK. Look at the size of the 4 rivers. It's enormous. I'm not saying this isn't enormous, but on that lady's map, she puts, you know, it's drawn that, well, they put, anyway, I want to know what that place there is. Where's that place gone? No one ever talks about that place, do they? There's no Australia on here, unless that's supposed to be, but then Australia's actually, I mean, look how big they've drawn. And anyway, yes, anyway. On to the next bit.
Even though it doesn't really look like it.
No, it is. South America is actually 9 times larger than Greenland.
It's crazy.
Now, according to your social studies teachers, what is the equator? Halfway between the North Pole and the South Pole on this map would be right about here.
Right.
And that means that Iowa has a semi-tropical climate. Well, you've been in Minnesota in the wintertime.
I've been in Iowa too. It's definitely
You know that it doesn't have a tropical climate. So you have to then introduce a real version of the map of the world. That's what this is doing.
Even though I like what that lady's saying, you know, I started to look at maps myself, and actually you find that England on the older maps is bigger than they're portraying it on the newer maps. For instance, I know it's not as wide as France, okay, but England is the length of France, and sometimes they make us look like this little tiny dot. I mean, Spain doesn't look so big on that one, does it? Looks, we are longer than Spain, we're just not as wide as Spain. Anyway, it's showing us bigger on that map. England looks a bit bigger on that one, doesn't it? Wow, well, there's France there. Well, yeah. I want to look at this one here, hang on. Still shows England a little bit bigger, because if we go to a map now, sorry, another map here, I wonder what that is there. Funny shaped England there, but it probably looks more like that. I know Scotland looks a bit bigger maybe on that map. Ireland changed shape a bit there. Anyway, sorry, we're going over to this other map now. Well, I suppose there, England's not a bad size there either, would you believe? But how many remember England being this little sort of dot on the map? Come on, how many times have you seen England as a very small place? It is smaller than these places. but it's not as small as they say it is. I still think it's bigger than they really portray it. You know, when you look in these, you know, where is it there, where is it there? It's so small you hardly see it, but it is bigger than they say it is. From the older maps, it's bigger. In this one, so small you can't even really make it out. This is an old map, but that's what they've drawn us, small. Well, it says it's an old map. Anyway, I think you get my drift. On with the video. I wanted to put the little clip of this out because obviously they explain it all for you, but as this lady's talking in the video, they're basically going to say the same, that there's one way map looking at it, and then there's another way of looking at it. And yeah, I couldn't put it out like it was because copyright and stuff. But basically at the end of it they say, oh, we're even upside down. It was taken from a film. Anyway, so the Americans are taught that with Russia, Russia, China, China, and they're in the middle. But they're saying, obviously, Greenland's a lot smaller, and that's actually the shape of the map, which is the Peterson one, which is what that lady's got. So anyway, on to the next bit.
The Peters projection map. The sizes on this map are right. The shapes are distorted.
Wow.
Look at Greenland on this map. Right there. See it?
Yeah, it's really tiny.
See how small that is?
Right.
Look at it on the Mercator projection.
So why do they do that? I don't understand.
Why? Because the Pope commissioned Mercator to make a map that shows the spread of Christianity. So all the countries in which there are predominantly white people are larger than those in the southern part of the world, halfway between the North Pole and South Pole.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you have children going to school and they're seeing this map,
Right.
they're seeing a distortion
Yeah.
of size, of shape, of location, of importance. If they're looking at this map, they're seeing a distorted, shape distorted, but size and location and importance makes sense. This makes no sense.
Right.
On that map, Alaska is bigger than Mexico. On this map, Mexico
Yeah.
is bigger than Alaska. And look at Canada on this map. Look at that thing. That much is the map. Look at Canada on a properly constructed map.
Plus, don't forget that we're probably, as they say, upside down. So we're not really facing north. We're facing south. But they tell us we're facing north. Many maps showing upside down. Wonder if there's some pattern there in the land. But don't forget, we've got, let's go back over here. We don't know what was here. How much this has changed. Anyway, that also hasn't been talked about, but there's also that.
Yeah.
Do you think that's important?
It's like a world of difference.
A world of difference. That's a good thought. Look at there. Look at South America and compare it to Greenland on this map.
Right. It's almost like we're teaching kids that we're bigger, we're better.
That's right.
You know.
That's right. That's exactly what this map. That's exactly what this map is supposed to do.
Right.
What we have in this country and call education is indoctrination. We start at 3. We used to start at 5. From the northernmost point of Canada to the southernmost point of South America, all the people in here are Americans. North Americans, Central Americans, South Americans. These are all Americans. You can't put up a wall to keep Americans out because we're all Americans. And think about the day he said to the governor of Puerto Rico, "I've talked to your president." And she said to him, "You are our president."